Palo Verde trees are starting to bloom. I am not a professional floral arranger. Trying not to stress about going for a mammogram. Too many ideas and not enough time. That is forever my problem as an author. I can't believe it's been 7 years since I finished my PhD. Hello and good morning. Welcome to a new vlog. Welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a full-time university writing instructor and a part-time content creator and indie author. Welcome back if you're one of my lovely returning friends. It is great to have you here. It's Friday morning. It is morning, as you might be able to hear from the very noisy birds outside my window. They're doing their morning catch-up with all their friends. The sun is technically up, but it is still making its way up high enough for me to see it from my apartment. It's Friday, so I'm not going hiking because Friday is usually my rest day for the week. And I'm going to be going to the grocery store later with mom. So yeah, I'm not going hiking. I didn't go hiking yesterday either. We can maybe talk about this a little bit more later. Maybe not, we'll see. But this semester is just destroying me energy-wise. I teach on Tuesday. Wednesday, somehow I still have some energy, but by Wednesday night, I'm starting to feel really tired. And then like every Thursday, especially since spring break, I'm really noticing it since spring break, but every Thursday I just crash. I can't wake up in the morning. I have no energy. It's not good. I didn't go for a hike yesterday. I kind of thought, let me just take that day off. I'll just do some gentle movement around the apartment. And then I knew that I wouldn't go hiking today for Friday because I'm gonna go run errands, and that's usually my activity. I've got an appointment later this afternoon as well, so I'm gonna be running around, running errands throughout the day. Then hopefully for tomorrow, I will have some energy and I can have some nice hikes over the weekend, because we are in the middle of like 5 days of really nice weather. Today's the last day that it's going to be below 70, and then tomorrow will be like 75 and Sunday will be 78. So the mornings over the weekend are going to be really, really beautiful. I can go for some really nice hikes this weekend, and then it goes back up into the 80s and the mid 90s. We're not thinking about that. Thinking about how this morning it is only 50 degrees at the moment, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I've got the windows open. Standing here by this little window, I can feel this nice cool breeze coming in, and it's lovely. So I'm not going for a hike, but I have noticed the Palo Verde trees are starting to bloom. And I don't know that any of the ones in my immediate neighborhood are blooming that well, but we're gonna go take a look. We're gonna go on the hunt for some Palo Verde trees and see if I can get some pictures on my phone. Considering how the wildflowers have not been blooming, I was a little worried that we weren't gonna get much of a Palo Verde tree blooming season. But as I've been driving around, a lot of them are blooming and look amazing. So I'm hoping that even if the ones in my neighborhood aren't blooming yet, that they will soon. So we're gonna go for just a gentle walk around the neighborhood and see what we can see. And hopefully we can find some really beautiful Palo Verde blossoms. Fingers crossed, hoping. So let's go see what we can find. It was such a beautiful morning out there this morning. There were still some big puffy clouds in the sky, but they were definitely starting to break up and clear out. But it still gave just some extra texture to the sky, if that makes sense. Like here in Arizona, we usually don't have clouds. Like we can go days without seeing a single cloud. So clouds to me are absolute magic. So I really enjoy when I can see the clouds in the morning. The Palo Verde trees are starting to bloom, and I found some beautiful ones throughout the neighborhood. Some are still not quite blooming. There's like a few blossoms on them, but not very many. But then you'll come across a tree that has a lot more. But there weren't really very many trees that I saw out there that until towards the end but the majority of them are like only partially covered. There was like one that was the jackpot, the motherload of Palo Verde blossoms, and it was just full. Like you saw more yellow than green on this tree, and it was just incredible. And just as I was getting there, the sun was just starting to kind of hit it in just the right way, and so some of the blossoms were in shade, but some were in the sun. And I just love being able to see Palo Verdes in that morning light, that like golden hour, first thing in the morning when the sun is coming up. The yellow blossoms lit up by the sun with the blue sky in the background, and then today the blue sky with the white puffy clouds. It just makes my heart sing. It really, really does. The big tree that was full of them was lovely, and then there was another tree just a little bit further down the path that usually is in full bloom, and that one is getting there, so that was really exciting. And yeah, managed to see quite a few Palo Verde trees, and yeah, it was such a beautiful, beautiful morning. Now I'm home and I'm about to pop out to go to the grocery store, so I've washed and dried my hair, freshened myself up. Mom is on her way, so we will be heading out very soon. Then the rest of the day, it's a mix today. So the rest of the day I've got a lot of grading to do, but I have managed to stay caught up. So by end of day yesterday, I had graded everything that had been turned in. So today I just want to stay caught up. So anything that needs to be graded as of today, I'm gonna do. There were some things, I lied slightly, I wasn't completely caught up. There were some things that I left, but I will try to get those graded today. So my business writing students are about to be turning in their final draft of their application letters. So some of them have turned them in early, so I want to start grading those. With my business writing class, I'm basically grading stuff as it's turned in. So if students are getting ahead, or if they're just turning one assignment in early, I'm grading it. I'm not waiting, because I just know by the end of this month, I will be really happy if I have managed to like get ahead on grading in at least those two classes, because I still have students in my first year comp class who are behind. So I just know I'm gonna get a massive dump of assignments at the very last minute. So yeah, if I can be grading everything that's been turned in like as it's being turned in, normally under normal circumstances I would wait until like all of the application letters have been turned in for a class and then grade a whole class in one go. And so like if one class I'm still waiting for a couple late ones, I will wait until those get turned in. Or if some students turn them in early, sometimes I'll grade them early, but sometimes I'd rather just wait and do it all in one go. But in a semester like this, where I'm doing a combination of C session and B session, and where B session just moves so fast, if I can be grading things little bits each day rather than bigger chunks 1 or 2 days a week, that would be preferable. So I want to do a lot of grading. I have some announcements to post and some like general admin type bits to post and do. I have a grade check for the athletic students. I need to send it to the athletic director, so I need to do little admin bits like that. But it should still be an early finish today because I've done really, really well. I am always motivated with the knowledge that if I do well throughout the week, I can finish early on Friday. So I've done really well. I was super productive yesterday. Like I said, I'm all caught up on grading, so I'm ready to just relax. And I do need to finish a little bit early anyway because I have a mammogram scheduled for this afternoon. So much fun. Not, but important. Not fun, but important. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'm trying to get everything for teaching work wrapped up before that appointment so that I can then just go out, do that, maybe stop on the way home for an iced latte or something fun to treat myself for doing the adulting thing, and then come back and probably do some editing work. So yeah, it should be a relaxing and fun day. The weather is still so beautiful. I've closed this window for now because it's getting full sun, so my apartment's gotten nice and cool in here, so I want to keep it that way. I think I can have one more night of it being like below 70 in my apartment, and I sleep better when it's below 70. I just do. I am definitely a cold weather person who should not be living in Arizona, but this is where I live for now, so I deal with it. But yeah, it's probably the last day until November if we're lucky, maybe not until December. I mean, this last year it was 80 just a couple days before Christmas, and my air conditioning was still on just a couple days before Christmas. So I'm not holding my breath. I'm just enjoying this moment while it lasts. This morning has been full of magical moments, which I just love collecting throughout my day. I've had the big puffy clouds. I've had the beautiful morning sunrise. I've had the gorgeous Palo Verde blossoms. I've got a nice, cool apartment that I can just be totally comfortable in. I've been taking my time doing my hair and makeup and stuff today, which just always feels like a luxury. So it's been a magical morning so far, and it's still morning. It's not even that late. So I'm hoping we can take this positive energy and run with it throughout the day. So yeah, I'm gonna check on where mom is at and get going. Oh, I also need to share a reel for the bonus vlog that I put up. So this vlog's going up on Wednesday, so hopefully by now you've seen that there was a vlog that went up on Friday, which I don't normally put up vlogs on Friday. I've been doing bonus videos on alternating Fridays, like what I've been reading lately or different like indie publishing type topics, but last week I did a vlog, so let me know what you thought of that, and if you want more bonus vlogs, I need to post the reel. I've been trying to post Instagram reels, the little teaser trailers that come at the beginning of these vlogs. I'm trying to post those on Instagram, so I still need to do that for today's bonus vlog. Gonna do all of that, and then we will head to the grocery store. Okay, I'm back and it's time to do the flowers. So I ended up, this is a total experiment. This could all go wrong. These could be dead by tonight. I've never bought either of these kinds of flowers, so I don't know how well they do as cut flowers and like how long they last, but these were only $3.99. These are 5 stems of stock, and these were $7.99, and these are 5 stems of Lisianthus, which I love. Lisianthus, I've fallen in love with them in pictures, but I've not had any. I thought, well, these ones actually looked like they were in decent condition. Sometimes when I see them at the store, they just already look like they're on their way out, so I don't want to get them. And like the stock, I don't know. This could have been a bad idea, but we're just gonna go with it. What I could see didn't look too bad, but now that I'm opening them up, they do look a little bit like crunched. They smell pretty. So yeah, we're just gonna get a little bit of a trim and pop them in and we'll just see how they do. I'm not entirely sure which vase I wanted to put them in. I might switch them to a different vase. I'm putting them in this one for now, but like this is way too spread out. I wanted to see how the Lisianthus do, because I don't know, they look a bit leafy and I don't know how much they're gonna really fill out the space. So like if this was just the stalk, this is not how I would do it. I would put them in, and I almost put them in this vase. So that one's on standby. Some of them have fallen off, but they're really pretty. They're really pretty flowers. I really love them. So now let's do the Lisianthus. They had tulips, but I was hoping they'd have a smaller bunch of the, yeah, this, I don't know which vase I want to use. Let's just keep playing with it. Ooh, these smell pretty. Like I could cut them up even more. That's a little tall still. But yeah, I got tulips last time and I just decided not to go with tulips this time, even though I love tulips. These ones called to me. They looked pretty. This is filling out a bit, so we might be able to leave them in this vase for now. That's still a bit tall. And then I can always move them to a different one later, because the Lisianthus is filling this out nicely. I am not a professional floral arranger. I dream one day of owning enough property, like owning a house with a garden of some kind. And I know it's become like really popular. I follow several vloggers who have, all of them are in England. They've moved out to the countryside and they've all started like vegetable gardens. I want to start a flower garden. I don't eat enough fruits and vegetables to grow my own. I probably would eat more if I did grow my own. And I probably would have like a small vegetable patch. I'd probably have like one raised bed to do carrots and maybe peas and just the things that I do like to eat. Some lettuce, I love lettuce. I think growing my own would be really nice. But I want a cut flower garden. I just want rows and rows and rows of bushes of roses and peonies and dahlias and Lisianthus and stock and like all of these, and then like in the spring like have rows and rows of tulips and hyacinths and just all this like spring bulb flowers. Like that's what I want. I want to have so many flowers in the flower garden that if I go out every day and like cut a bunch to make a bouquet, there's still tons left on the bush. That's what I want. One day I will have my dream flower garden. Okay, this still needs work. So yeah, I am not a flower arranger. Like I'm not good at it, but I enjoy it. I just love kind of playing with it. See, I'm not sure if that, I don't know. I go back and forth between, does that look pretty and like wild and natural and beautiful, or does it just look a bit, there is an art to this. There's a science to it though as well. Like there's a science to flower arranging and there's an art to flower arranging. I feel like I need one of the stalk to be more in the middle. So I don't know. I don't know if I need to trim these more or if they just need to be in the other vase. But then if they're in, ooh, actually that Lisianthus is just really broken. So like if they were more like that, would that be prettier? Yeah, see this one. This one's gonna have to go into its own little vase. That just kind of snaps. See that? That's a little bit prettier, I feel like. A little bit more constrained. If I trim these anymore, they're gonna have to go back into something like that. Here's my dilemma. Do I keep them in this, or do I just cut a bit more? I think, again, I'm not good at this, but I enjoy it. I just think I want them in this other vase, but I think they need to be shorter. I might need to pull some of the leaves off towards the bottom. I just feel like I want them to have a little bit of room to breathe and not be, I don't want them to be totally like flopping outwards, but I also don't want them to be all bunched up, because I feel like that messed up some of the stalks, some of the stems of stalk in how they were first packaged. So okay, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll do. It'll do. And this, I think, I can put in a little bud vase and put that on my desk. These can go onto the coffee table. We will hope they at least last the weekend. Okay, it's like right as I turn on the camera, I get another email. Okay, that's all good. I think I'm done with teaching work. I will keep an eye on email throughout the rest of the afternoon, but it's just about time for me to dash out to the imaging clinic for my mammogram. There's only one teaching task I didn't get done, but it's a minor kind of personal teaching admin. I need to make grade sheets for my business writing class, the one that started kind of late. I'm just gonna flip over to Monday in my planner and put it there. I don't feel like doing it today, so I will do it later. But I'm caught up on grading. Grading is done for the week, which is fantastic. And a good number of my students, my business writing students, turned in their application letters early. So the rest will turn them in by tonight, but basically by being able to get as many done as I did, I will have a lot less to grade next week. So that's fantastic. I'm feeling good. I'm trying not to stress about going for a mammogram. It's fine. It's going to be fine. It's been a couple years since I had my last one, so I am like due, and it's one of the things that my new doctor had ordered to just get done, so that's fantastic. Need to just get it done, but I don't know. I don't think I'm the only one, but let me know in the comments if you also get regular mammograms, if you're at that stage in your life. Do you get nervous every time you have to go get one done, even though you don't really have a reason to be nervous? I just feel like it's one of those things, like breast cancer is just one of those things that as women, I think it's always in the back of your mind. And I do know, not personally, but through like social media and stuff, I do know some women who've been diagnosed with breast cancer, and some of them got it caught early and they're fine and, you know, in remission, or like it's no longer a concern, and others not so much, and it's still a continual struggle. And it's one of those things where it was another reason why I wanted to find a new doctor, because on my old doctor, they'd had me listed as a high-risk patient for breast cancer, even though no one ever discussed that with me or discussed why I had that label in my chart. And when I asked my old doctor about it, she brushed it off as like, oh, that's just something we put in there. why put it in someone's chart that they're high risk if they're not? So when I got my new doctor, when I got my new gynecologist, I brought it up and she said, we're just going to order it. It's been about time. It's every 1 to 2 years. You should just get it done and then we'll know. So I think it's fine. I'm choosing to tell myself it's fine. There's nothing to be worried about. I do know, and the gynecologist at my exam verified this, that I do have dense tissue. So that might be why they put me in that label. I don't know. So it is what it is. But one of the things I'm concerned about is I have to go to a different imaging lab than I've gone before. So I've had 3 mammograms done. I did 1 and then I had to go back 2 weeks later for more imaging. And that's when they realized that I have dense tissue and there was something that they thought was fine, but they weren't sure, but they wanted me to come back in 6 months just to be extra sure. So I did that, and then it was exactly the same. So nothing had changed in 6 months, and so you just have dense tissue. So I could go to regular, like annual mammograms. And so then I went a year later and that was fine. But then instead of annual, suddenly I got put, was told 2 years. Again, without any of this ever being explained to me. And so it's like, is it because I only need to go every 2 years, or is it because you don't know what you're doing? And considering the problems I had at my old doctor's office, it just makes me nervous. So I feel like with my new doctor, if she decides every 2 years is fine with me, then I'll feel confident in that. But it's frustrating getting distracted. The frustrating part is that was with a different imaging lab. I can't go back there unless I want to pay for it myself because they're no longer covered under my insurance. There wasn't anything. They did ask in the appointment paperwork stuff. They did ask if I'd had previous imaging done and if so, where. So I did tell them, but I haven't yet signed anything to say go ahead and get my images from that other clinic. So I don't know if I'll have to do that or if they don't really care. I don't know, because I haven't yet done this for several years. So I don't know. My mom seemed to think that they would want to see my old imaging, but no one's asked me for it yet, so I don't know. So I'm gonna head over there. I've got 45 minutes before my technical appointment, which means I've got 30 minutes before I need to be there, and it's not that far from my apartment. But I'm probably gonna leave in about 15 minutes. Leave 15 minutes earlier than I think I need to. I'm gonna leave in less than 15 minutes. I'm gonna leave soon. I'm getting everything turned off. I'm gonna leave soon and just get there early, even if it means I have to sit in the waiting room for a while, just because I'd rather get there early than get there late. So I'm gonna stop talking and I'll update you afterwards. I'm probably gonna stop somewhere on the way home and get myself a little treat. I'm gonna pass by a Press Coffee, which is my favorite indie coffee shop here in Phoenix, or in the Valley. They've got multiple locations. I'm passing by one of them on my way home, so I might stop and get myself a second decaf latte for the day. So we'll see. But yeah, anyway, enough chatting, enough stalling. Time to be an adult and go do the adult responsible medical things. Get your breasts checked and get your mammograms and all that good stuff. Okay, I'm back. I'm home. I'm changed into a cozy sweater. I'm putting the work laptop away. Everything's fine. Everything with the mammogram is fine. I came home, there was some work stuff in my email inbox that needed to be addressed, and that took longer than I wanted, and so it is now 4:30, and I really wanted to stop working on everything, including like book work and stuff, by 5, so I don't know how much work I'm going to get done. It is what it is. But yeah, everything with the mammogram went fine. I actually already have my results. So they've already been sent over to my gynecology office, and they've already sent, like, my doctor hasn't reviewed it, but I've been able to read it, and they say everything's fine. No suspicious anything is visible. And they're recommending annual, not every other year, once a year. So I will make sure to do that again next year around this time. And everything was fine at the imaging center. I don't like it as much. I feel like the office of the old place I went was nicer. It just felt a little bit more comfortable, a little bit less sterile, and a little bit more private. Like, I was in the gown, and like other people were just walking by outside the like second little waiting room they put me in, which just felt a little bit awkward. And that second waiting room, like the blinds were open to the road outside, and the windows are tinted, so I don't think anyone could see in, but it's still just, and I was covered, but like I'm just in this like weird gown that ties in the front, clutching my stuff to my chest just so that nothing was, you know, on show. So that part was less than ideal. I just feel like the other office, their whole setup is just a little bit nicer, but the technician was super friendly, and that's in a way the most important thing, like that the person who's actually doing the imaging makes you feel comfortable, and she did. So that was all good. After that, I left and went to Sprouts. I got myself a decaf iced latte from Press, and I also got a salted chocolate chip cookie. Because it is now so close to dinner time, I might just have one more tiny bite of this and then put it aside until after dinner, because I feel like this is treat enough before dinner. Yeah, I got back and went to check my email, my work email, kind of not one more time, but just one time before switching to book work, and saw something had popped up that really had to be addressed. And thankfully everything is fine. There's nothing wrong. It sounded like it for a second, and then got everything clarified and everything's fine now. But I definitely couldn't ignore it. So it could not wait until Monday. So that has now taken up some of my time, and I just don't know that I feel like editing. I just want to go sit on the couch and read. As I mentioned in the last vlog, so I've been rereading my first book, the first one that I published, A Brave Start. I'm reading it on my Kindle, and I've got like 30 minutes left. I'm down to like the big resolution of that book, and I made myself stop last night because otherwise I would have been up until almost 10 finishing it. And it's like, Andrea, it is one thing when you stay up past your bedtime reading someone else's book. You cannot stay up past your bedtime reading your own book. Like, that is where I have to draw the line. I did it the other night, so it wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, I made myself stop. I knew that the chapter I had gotten to, if I kept reading even one more page, I was gonna finish it, and to stay up until I finished it. So I made myself put it down. But like, even though I know how it ends, I still want to read it and finish it. And I'm still on the fence of, do I want to then reread Brave with You? Because I really did love Brave with You. But then I feel like if I reread Brave with You, I'm gonna then want to reread Brave Together. And part of me is like, maybe just skip straight to Forever Love London, because I know I want to reread that one, because I haven't read that one since the final like proofread read through. And I love that. I love all my books, but I love Forever Love London so much. And I just kind of feel like I want to have the experience again of rereading it without the pressure of it being a copy edit read through or a proofread read through. Just reread it as a reader just to enjoy the story, because I haven't really done that since like the beta draft read through. So I don't know if I'm gonna finish A Brave Start and then just keep going with book 2 and then book 3 and then read book 4. I might come back and reread books 2 and 3 another time, because you could read A Brave Start to introduce yourself to the world of Across the Pond, and then jump forward to book 4 and then go back to read books 2 and 3, but you wouldn't want to read books 2 or 3. You wouldn't want to read book 2 without reading book 1, and you wouldn't want to read book 3 without reading books 1 and 2. Those need to be read in order, but you could slot Forever Love London in there. It would just give you some minor spoilers for books 2 and 3. So yeah, I might skip straight to Forever Love London, and then maybe next month I can reread Brave with You and Brave together. But part of me also really wants to go back and reread Royal Romance, even though I just reread that one. So I might hold off and let myself read that again in May, when I then will have time to do start doing some editing work on that one, because I was talking about this in last vlog, I do think I really want to spend part of the summer. Obviously Independent Hearts 4 is the main focus for the summer, because I really want to get the majority of that done. Like, if it's not launched by the time the semester starts, I at least want to have it very, very close to launch by the time the semester starts. So that's going to be the main priority. But I would like to spend part of the summer working on some of my languishing works in progress. Oh, it's just too many ideas and not enough time. That is forever my problem as an author. This is what they don't tell you when you decide, I'm going to be an author. That you're going to have too many ideas and not enough time to like implement all of them or write all of them. I just want to go live in a cottage somewhere and write all day, every day. Maybe not all day, but write every day for like half the day, and then the other half I can spend reading and hiking and doing those sorts of good things that help keep your brain in a good creative space. But like, full-time jobs, they're great. They pay the bills. They're really important. But I feel like this week I've really been feeling the whole like, the last 2 weeks I've done really well, I felt, of balancing the full-time job and editing. And I think part of it was because the Scrivener read-through felt a bit more like doable. Just like sit down and read at least a chapter and make your notes for that chapter. Now I need to start actually making those edits. So I probably need to not make this too complicated. I was telling myself, you need to sit down and like make copies of all the notes and write everything down in your journal and stuff like that. I might just, what would be smart and what would be modeling good writing habits and behaviors as an author. I mentioned this in a previous vlog where I was talking about like editing processes and stuff. I can't remember if it was in the self-editing vlog or not, but some of these notes are really, really simple and really minor. So I'm going to set a goal of addressing like 10 comments. I'm just going to knock out 10 comments that are little minor things. Can I do that? I don't want to set myself up for failure. Like, can I find 10 comments that, see, this is where I'm struggling. I just feel like a lot of these, no, Andrea, be smart. Always a struggle, but I can manage that every now and then. Every now and then I can be smart. Some of these, a lot of these comments, I've got Scrivener open on my external monitor, and I'm just toggling through all the different chapters. Okay, that I can do. Maybe not 10. on a sticky note, I'm gonna write down all the comments that I do manage to get done. So I'm gonna go through all the comments. Any little easy ones, I'm gonna just do. Any of the ones that, like, because I mentioned how when I do the Scrivener read through, if it takes 30 seconds or longer, I make a note to come back to it. If it's 30 seconds or less, like a quick typo, I fix that right then and there during the Scrivener read through. So I'm gonna go through and see how many comments I can find that are like 30 to 60 second fixes. And those are the ones I'm gonna do. And I will do a little tick mark on the sticky note, and we'll see how many of those I get done while I finish my latte. And then I can feel like I've done something for editing this book. I got 10 notes done. So I've gone through all of the book, and there were 10 super easy, super quick notes that I could just knock out. I now know that half-heartedly is one word, lunchtime is also one word, overdressed is one word, and great-grandparents, great-grandma, great-grandfather, whatever, needs a hyphen. I kind of knew all of these things already, but these are the sort of things that when you write, you suddenly second guess and doubt your own intelligence and wonder, am I right? Pause for the loud airplane flying over my apartment building that just goes on and on and on. Are you done yet? So yeah, like these are the sorts of things that normally you would be like, I know the answer to that. Of course it's this. But when you're in writer and editor mode, suddenly you're like, ooh, am I smart enough to know the answer? Should I trust my own intelligence in thinking I know the answer? So a lot of what I Google is this word one or two words, or does this word need a hyphen, or things like that. I also have learned that the University of Wisconsin at Platteville was founded in 1868, and UW-Madison was founded in 1848. Who knew they were both that old? Especially Madison. I know Madison is like the big one in the UW system. Had no idea it was 1848. Both of those are older than ASU, I think. Because I think ASU, my university, is 1885. My university is a baby compared to the University of Wisconsin system. But yeah, there's a reference where the grannies in Independent Hearts, which if you've read Independent Hearts, you know the grannies, Granny Grace and Granny Janice. They're making a joke or just talking about their childhood. And I just had a thought, and they reference both the universities, and I thought, I should double check that both of these universities would have been founded at the time that the grannies would have been, you know, like university age. They were by a long shot, because the grannies aren't that old. Oh my God, another airplane. Do you mind? See, normally the airplanes flying over doesn't bother me because the windows are closed and the air conditioning is blaring and the airplane noise is the least of my noise concerns. But as I've mentioned, it is the last day that I'm going to be able to have these windows open, and I am trying to enjoy it. Although I need to open the big one up again soon. But yeah, so I had to look those up. So those are your fun facts of this vlog. Fun grammar facts and your fun history facts. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty proud of myself because I can feel like I've got something done. I can cross off edit Independent Hearts for on my planner for the day, which I migrated that task yesterday. I migrated it on Wednesday. I don't know why I put it down for Tuesday, because I knew I wasn't going to get any work done on Tuesday, but I also didn't do any work on Monday. So today is the sum total of all the editing I have managed to do today. Looking through this, and I should put this on a separate sticky note so that I do not forget, I need to, we're going to say editing task. My next editing task is to go through the comments in each chapter. So I've got in the comments and footnotes section of Scrivener, I've got comments. But then when I toggle back over to see like the index card and stuff, I've got notes in each chapter, or most of them. So I need to go through my editing notes. So like I can show you this one. Editing notes for the prologue. Work on this to just strengthen the whole prologue. Since I wrote it pretty quickly, I feel like it still needs a lot of work. So there's notes in this section, but then there's also comments attached to specific lines in the manuscript. So each chapter essentially has notes in 2 different places. So I need to go through all of those in both places in every chapter. Then I need to organize my notes and comments. And I think I've known that that's the big thing I need to do, and I think that's why I haven't really gotten a lot of work done. I really would like to take this weekend off from everything, because next week is going to be really busy. I might do that, even though part of me feels like I should spend maybe not. Maybe I should. I feel like I should do some editing work on Sunday, give myself tomorrow off, then do some editing work on Sunday. I can vlog that, because I'm also trying to think of what I'm going to vlog next week because I'm doing conferences. But we could do a week-long editing vlog Monday through Friday. But if I'm going to do that, I've got to organize all of my notes first. So maybe on Sunday we sit down, and we as in you all and me, not me using the royal we, but we sit down on the vlog and just spend a day, part of a day, not the whole day, but spend the day organizing all my notes and comments and like making a fairly solid revision plan of all the big picture notes, all the like medium level notes, and all the remaining little notes. There's still a bunch of like, strengthen this sentence, or strengthen this paragraph, or condense this, or highlighting a whole paragraph. Do I need this? So there's things like that. There's some minor structural stuff. There's one section in like chapter 1, I think, where I asked in the comments, like, can I put some of this information in like chapter 2 and 3? Does it need to be in chapter 1? I want to sit down and like organize all of that. And I also wanted to, as I mentioned in the last vlog, I think I need to sort out the like family tree for Molly's family, the history of the farm, the history of the building that her shop is in, because all of that becomes relevant to the story. There's like a little mystery of the shop. So I need to get those things sorted out in my head before I can start editing, because there's different chapters where I had notes for myself of, you need to figure this out before you can edit this part of this chapter. So maybe we'll do that in the next vlog. One of the next vlogs the next vlog will be some sort of editing vlog, and we will get some serious editing done. But it is 5:10 and I am at the max capacity of what my brain can handle as far as editing is concerned. I feel like when I was doing the Scrivener read through, I could balance that alongside my work for the day. But now I'm at a stage where I really need to just be able to sit down for like 2 or 3 hours and just plow through some of this. So that will probably be the next vlog. But one thing I wanted to mention, because it is relevant, so a few vlogs ago, I talked about how it was my 9-year anniversary or birthday of doing YouTube. Today, as I am filming this, it is 4/4, April 4th, and as many of you probably remember from me talking about, 4/4, 2018 was when I finished my PhD. That was when I technically got my title, essentially. That was when the magic really happened. That was the day of my PhD defense. I vlogged that. You can see that vlog. It's here on this channel. I need to rewatch that at some point because honestly the whole thing just feels like an out-of-body experience, like a fever dream. Like, did it really happen? I mean, I've got the PhD, I've got the diploma, I did it, I finished, but sometimes it just doesn't feel real. It really doesn't. But yeah, 7 years ago, I can't believe it's been 7 years since I finished my PhD. Like, it's the same feeling with 9 years that I've been doing YouTube. I don't know where the time has gone, and yeah, it's weird. But I've been thinking about that day. I posted some stuff on my Instagram stories. I dug back through my camera roll to that day and the picture I took that my friends took of me holding my little sign, which I've got my sign right back here. Dr. Andrea Severson, established 4/4/2018. My program manager makes those signs for, I think, every PhD student for the day they pass their defense, and she will show up outside of, or sometimes she goes to the defense, but if not, she tries to at least show up after your defense to give you your sign and take a picture, and she posts it on Facebook. And I'd seen my friends who were further ahead of me go through this process and get their sign, and so I was like really excited for my sign. So the two big moments from Defense Day were, first, after going through the defense and getting through the Q&A and answering all of my committee's questions and feeling like, oh my gosh, am I doing a good job on this? They then kind of kick you out of the room and you go out into the hall. They close the door and deliberate behind closed doors over how you did. And they let you know if you pass. There's like full pass, high pass, or I think it might just be called a pass. So you either pass with no revisions or you pass with revisions, or, and it would really never get to this stage, you don't pass. I don't think, at least in my department, I don't think there's a single faculty member, like dissertation chair, who would let you schedule a defense if they thought you wouldn't pass. So really what you're waiting to hear is, do you pass with no revisions or pass with revisions? I think the worst cases it could be that you pass with pretty significant revisions that you need to make. I passed with minor revisions. So when she opened the door, the first thing she said, my chair, was, "Congratulations, Dr. Severson." And that was the first time I heard anyone call me that. And it was just, and then all my friends and my parents were there and everyone started cheering and they were so excited. And at that point, friends and family stay out in the hall, but you go back in and talk to your committee one-on-one. That was when they told me what the minor revisions were. Basically, I am the queen of passive writing. I know this about myself. I need a support group. Any fellow passive writers out there who want to self-disclose? I'm the queen of passive writing. I can't help it. I'm so focused on just getting the information down. I'm really not thinking about active versus passive language. And I do this in my writing, as in my fiction writing as well. So basically the only note was she wanted me to go through and eliminate all of the passive writing and just make everything active. So instead of "this study will argue such and such," I needed to switch it to "this study argues blank." Easy fix. Super easy. So that was the first big moment from that day. And then the second big moment was getting to go outside and have my picture taken with my little sign. And like almost as soon as I got home, like I, as quickly as possible, found a frame for it because I did not want anything to happen to it. Even though it'd be really easy to kind of mock up a new version of it, I wanted that version. So I've had that framed here in my home office every day since for the past 7 years. And I can't believe it's been 7 years. And like, it's been almost 7 years. The end of this semester will be the end of my 7th full year of teaching at the university full time as a writing instructor. And I don't know, I feel like this is the topic of a whole other video of like thoughts on 7 years post PhD. But I feel like that topic is also then connected to like 7 years of really not doing any of my academic research that I got my PhD for, and so many complicated thoughts. Yeah, it's complicated. That's the title of that potential vlog that may or may not ever get filmed. I just don't know that I'm in a place where I can really talk about that. I have such mixed feelings about myself as an academic, and if anything, my imposter syndrome as an academic has only gotten worse after getting the PhD, which is a really bizarre thing to think about, let alone to try to articulate in a vlog. But yeah, today I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about, it's been 7 years. Every time April 4th rolls around, it's always just this really interesting feeling of, oh yeah, I did that. But also every year that goes by, it's another year that I'm not doing my research and I don't feel as much like an academic. There's part of me that still very much identifies with the academic identity, with an identity of being an academic. But in my current job, it's like, that's not what I've been hired to do. I've not been hired for my research. I've not been hired to do research. I've been hired to teach. And I think part of it is my research interests have changed, but then part of it is also I don't really feel like I have a community that encourages me to pursue any kind of academic study. Like, I'm more friends with other writers online, and at work we're primarily, like, teaching is like our main identities, and a lot of my colleagues, some of them try to still do research, but also their research interests are just so different from mine that I can't really talk to them about it. Like, I could, but it's still hard. But anyway, that's the topic for another vlog. Let me know if you'd be interested, and maybe I'll try to find a way of talking about it. It's complicated, but today is nice. I'm gonna wrap up this vlog here. I'll show you bits of my cozy evening, but I'm gonna get on with a cozy evening, a cozy Friday, probably watching more YouTube, having a yummy dinner, enjoying my beautiful flowers, enjoying the last really nice, cool night before it starts warming up, and yeah, just kicking off the weekend in a super cozy way. How many times can I say cozy in this segment? Let's not test that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'd really appreciate both of those things. Say hi in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. You can leave me some flower emojis, or some pink or purple heart emojis for the purple stalk and the pink lisianthus. And you can also, what's our question? Question of the vlog. I don't know if I have a question. I don't know if I can think of a question. Literally, thought has like left, coherent thought has left the building, basically. Coherent thought has left my brain, has left the building. I've got nothing left. So I don't have a question, but just say hi in the comments. Respond to something I've said or done in this vlog. If you're a writer, give me a writing update. If you're an academic, give me a teaching or student update. Where are you at in the semester? If you're a reader, what are you reading? And I am really going to shut up now and just go get on with my evening. I will see you all very soon in the next vlog, which should hopefully be some sort of significant editing vlog. I promise we will get back to that. I feel like the last few vlogs now have just been really kind of random and chatty. That has just been my mood. So we will come back soon, I promise, with a really strong editing vlog. And until then, thank you very much for watching this vlog, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye!